Everyone wants Ayanokoji's intelligence, his discipline, his emotional control, his ability to remain calm while everyone else loses control. But almost nobody understands where those qualities actually originate. People admire the outcome, yet they completely ignore the foundation that produced it. And that's exactly why most people fail when they try to become like him. Well, they imitate the actions, but they never develop the mindset responsible for those actions. As a result, they copy the surface while completely missing the substance. Welcome to the Complete Ayanokoji Guide series, Season 1, Foundation Phase. This series isn't designed to entertain you, it's designed to transform the way you think. Throughout this series, we'll systematically deconstruct every major and often overlooked aspect of Ayanokoji's mindset, translating it into practical actions you can apply in your own life. Every principle will be examined through Ayanokoji's perspective, supported by real-world examples, and translated into practical actions you can apply immediately. Because understanding Ayanokoji is useless if you never apply what he understands. And by the end of this series, you won't just know how Ayanokoji thinks, you'll understand how to implement those principles yourself. But before you learn how to focus like him, before you learn how to develop discipline like him, before you learn how to remain calm under pressure like him, you must first build the foundation, because without the right mindset, every technique eventually collapses. And today, you're going to learn the first principle of that foundation, a principle that quietly determines whether a person remains average or becomes someone entirely different. Most people unconsciously imprison themselves inside an identity they never consciously chose. A student fails one exam and suddenly becomes, "I'm bad at studying." Someone struggles with discipline for a few weeks and concludes, "I'm just lazy." A person gets rejected and decides, "I'm not confident." Notice what's happening. A temporary weakness gradually evolves into a permanent self-perception. And once that identity forms, every future action begins to reinforce it. The person who believes they're lazy begins acting like a lazy person. The person who believes they're unintelligent stops attempting difficult things. The person who believes they lack confidence starts avoiding situations that could build confidence. This is how potential quietly disappears. Not because people are incapable, but because they become loyal to an identity that no longer serves them. Ayanokoji operates differently. He doesn't treat his current condition as his final condition. He understands something most people never realize. Identity is not discovered. Identity is constructed. And the moment you understand that, everything begins to change. Ayanokoji doesn't allow his current limitations to dictate his future potential. That's what makes him different. Most people allow their circumstances to define them. Ayanokoji uses his circumstances as raw material for growth. When he identifies a weakness, he doesn't protect it. He doesn't justify it. He doesn't create excuses around it. He studies it, improves it, and eventually eliminates it. Because he understands a fundamental truth. The person you are today is not the person you're required to remain. The average person seeks comfort in certainty. Ayanokoji seeks advantage in adaptation. And that's precisely why he continues evolving while others remain trapped inside the same version of themselves year after year. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I'm not disciplined," you replace it with I haven't built discipline yet. Instead of saying "I'm not confident," say "I haven't developed confidence yet." Instead of saying "I'm bad at studying," say "I haven't learned how to study effectively yet." Notice the difference. The first statement closes the door. The second statement keeps it open. One creates limitation, the other creates possibility. And possibility is where growth begins. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming their emotions accurately represent reality. They feel tired, so they assume they're incapable. They feel nervous, so they assume they're unprepared. They feel overwhelmed, so they conclude the challenge is impossible. But feelings are not facts, and the moment you understand that, your decision-making improves dramatically. Most people obey their emotions. Strategic people evaluate them. There's a massive difference. Ayanokoji rarely allows emotion to become the foundation of a decision. He acknowledges emotion, but he doesn't surrender control to it, because he understands something most people ignore. Emotions fluctuate, reality doesn't. If your decisions change every time your emotions change, your life becomes unstable. But if your decisions are anchored in reality, you maintain direction regardless of how you feel. That's one of the reasons Ayanokoji appears calm under pressure. He's focused on facts, not feelings. The next time you don't feel like studying, ask yourself, do I actually need rest? Or, do I simply not feel like doing the work? Those are two completely different situations. The next time fear appears, don't immediately obey it. Examine it, question it, understand it, because confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the ability to act despite it. Most people experience life. Ayanokoji studies it. Every conversation, every failure, every success, every mistake contains information. The average person asks, "Why is this happening to me?" A strategic person asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" That single question changes everything, because every setback contains a lesson, and every lesson contains an advantage. Ayanokoji rarely wastes energy complaining. Instead, he extracts information. He looks for patterns, weaknesses, motivations, opportunities. While others are distracted by frustration, he's gathering intelligence, and intelligence creates advantage. The next time you fail a test, don't ask, "Why am I so bad?" Ask, "What information did this mistake reveal?" The next time something goes wrong, become curious instead of emotional. Curiosity creates growth. Emotion often prevents it. Your future isn't determined by what you want. It's determined by what consistently receives your attention. Think about that. Most people spend years talking about their goals, yet they spend their days focusing on things that move them further away from those goals. Distractions, entertainment, comparison, validation. Little by little, their attention gets fragmented, and eventually, their potential follows. Because attention is far more powerful than most people realize. Whatever repeatedly occupies your mind gradually shapes your identity. If your attention constantly belongs to distractions, you'll become distracted. If your attention belongs to growth, you'll grow. Attention isn't just where you look, it's what you're becoming. One of Ayanokoji's greatest strengths is his ability to direct his attention with precision. So while everyone else is reacting, he's observing. While everyone else is distracted by noise, he's focused on what actually matters. That's why he notices things other people miss. Because attention creates awareness, and awareness creates advantage. Most people lose opportunities because they never notice them. Ayanokoji notices them because he's paying attention. Ask yourself a simple question. Where is your attention going every day? Not where you want it to go. Where is it actually going? Because if your attention and your goals are moving in different directions, your future will follow your attention, not your goals. Protect your attention. Protect your future. Most people are trapped inside short-term thinking. They sacrifice tomorrow for comfort today. They choose convenience over growth, pleasure over progress, comfort over transformation, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Because every decision carries a consequence. The problem is most people only think about immediate consequences. Ayanokoji thinks differently. He plays long-term games. Ayanokoji rarely focuses on immediate rewards. He's constantly evaluating outcomes, patterns, future possibilities. While others are asking, "What do I want right now?" he's asking what creates the greatest advantage in the future. That's a completely different way of thinking. And it's one of the biggest reasons he consistently stays ahead of everyone around him. Because time rewards patience. The ability to delay gratification is one of the most valuable advantages a person can develop. Before making an important decision, ask yourself, will my future self thank me for this? Not tomorrow, not next week, 1 year from now, 5 years from now. Will this decision move me closer to the person I want to become, or further away? Because your future is being constructed by the decisions you're making today. Everything you've seen from Ayanokoji, his discipline, his focus, his intelligence, his emotional control, his ability to remain calm under pressure, all of it rests on a foundation, and that foundation is his mindset. He doesn't allow identity to limit him. He doesn't allow emotions to control him. He treats every experience as information. He protects his attention, and he thinks further ahead than most people ever will. That's the foundation. And once you build it, everything else becomes easier. One final question. Most people believe success begins with action. According to today's lesson, what does success actually begin with? Comment your answer below. In the next episode, you'll learn the first skill Ayanokoji mastered before strategy, intelligence, or influence. The ability to remain calm while everyone else loses control. Episode 2. Master emotional control like Ayanokoji. If this video changed the way you think, subscribe to Shadow Mentality, because the next lesson might change the way you live.